What's your take?
Bring back segregation.
100% disagree.
Dead and bring it back. I want to know where I'm not welcome, okay?
Great.
Put them signs back up. Colors only, whites only. Let's do it, all right? Rip the Band-Aid off. Especially for a restaurant. Are you kidding me? Whites only? What do I want to do in there? What they got? Mashed potatoes? Mayonnaise? Hot dogs? Colors only? We got seasoning. Turmeric. Paprika.
Okay, I like this.
Okay.
You were saying that the black excellence.
Absolutely.
The segregation is to get
the colored excellence.
Okay.
Okay. What's the playlist in the whites only spot? They playing Carrie Underwood and Kid Rock. We playing Babyface and Diggable Planets. Ain't no overhead lighting. What are you talking about?
Wait, where am I going?
Colors.
Hell yeah.
Look at his hair. Talking about where am I going? That's the problem with North Africans.
That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. I'm in. 100% agree. Let's go.
Talking about where I'm going.
Oh man, yeah.
What happens to you in the summertime?
Where are we putting the Italians?
Listen.
I just want to know.
I don't need their food. I don't like tomatoes.
So they're going on the white side.
Black people spend over $1 trillion a year. I would love for the government to force us to spend it on our own people.
This is very good.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
I brought you over to the side.
And the black airplane?
Oh, come on. The Soul Plane, baby.
I want to be on Soul Plane.
Yes, it's going to be noisy on there, but that's what noise cancellation headphones are for. You know what I'm saying?
And they're going to have all the good movies?
All the good movies. All the good music.
Oh, man.
And while we at it, bring back sundown towns. They never left, but...
What's that?
Well, a sundown town was back in the day during Jim Crow, where black people weren't allowed to be in a town after the sunset.
Wow.
So those towns never left. They still exist in America, but they took the signs down. I want them to put the signs back up. I wanted to save 248 miles to the next town that likes colored people. Get your gas in Atlanta. Don't stop till you get to Savannah, all right?
I'm with her.
He with me.
Black people are now arguing for segregation. They want black-only graduations. They want black-only dorms. They want black-only spaces. This is just Jim Crow. Why on earth did we get rid of Jim Crow if only to have black Americans fighting for the exact same again? What is it that black America is trying to achieve with such distaste and hatred toward white Americans? I mean, I see it every single day in my life. I mean, you should see the comments. Married to a white man, right? I have biracial children. That should be considered the dream. That should mean, oh my God, we actually got ahead as a society when black people get married. Nope. Look at the comments anytime a black person marries a white person and see who it's coming from. It's coming from black people. Oh, married to the white man. Oh, selling out your soul. So you're arguing actually for marriage segregation. You're basically saying that the Supreme Court case, Virginia versus Love, should have never happened. That it should still be illegal for blacks and whites to marry. They don't think that way because they're demented.
As a black American, I 100% stand with segregation in America. This was actually the Most High's decree. We weren't supposed to mix with the outsiders. We all know who the outsiders are. Those same outsiders augmented our history, stole our wealth, stole our land, stole our pride and our spirits from up under us, simply for integrating them in our system. But you see, segregation will bring everything that we lost back and then some. Segregation is our reparations. Black people are the majority, Spanish, the Mexicans included. We are the majority in this world. We are the biggest consumers in this world. And so, for the longest, Caucasians have taken advantage of the fact that we are the majority. So they sell exclusively to us. We are the reason why they are rich. We are buying their products to make them rich. If we go back to segregation, and we start owning our own products, and we start exclusively selling to our own, and we become millionaires overnight. We control the market overnight. We weed them out of their own system because now we hold the keys. For the longest time, they've had their own in leadership while black people push the workforce and the labor force in order for them to become rich while we receive pennies to a dollar. COVID woke the world up when they realized that essential workers, those essential workers were black people majority of the time in the Spanish. Because the labor force is pushed by us. And when black folks stopped going to work, and those white leaders that were controlling those companies had to come in and get their hands dirty, they lost millions of dollars. They cannot keep up that workload with just them because they don't have the manpower or the skill set to do it. They can tell you what to do and use your godliness in order to get the job done. And then when y'all get the job done, they take all your resources and give you scraps. But segregation, us having our own, even if they try to pull a move like, hey, y'all money is in these white people banks, so you can't take your money out. That's fine. That is fine. This is what happens when you decide to do that. If you try to withhold our money through segregation, you don't think they're going to boycott the banks, the businesses, like they did Target, and have them bankrupt in months? Think about what's going on. Think about us being the majority. Because if the majority of us pull our money out of the bank, or if the majority of us decide to create our own banks, segregated from them, and there are millions and millions of us, and their population is on the decline because they're technically clones that came in our world via orphan train, Holocaust, and the Great Migration that was less than 100 years ago. If we pull out all of our assets from them and go segregated, they go extinct. This is why they're crashing out. They're the only ones that really deep down do not want segregation. Because then they know black people are not going to buy their products and come in their stores. And then black people are only going to visit other black people. And they're only going to do business with other black people and other Spanish people. And next thing you know, these white people who are on the market trying to sell something is going to be cut short because we're not going to do business with you ever again. Because now this is the time to X you out of our history. Now is the time for us to bring the world back to where it was. Technology is at the lowest it's ever been. Now, with black leaders who were the originators of the inventions that we see today, now they can get their merits back. And now we can expand on what we started on year one when we were here, when we were segregated then.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Africans. Yeah, we have very bad news going on in the United States of America, affecting our fellow brothers and sisters in the diaspora. In this context, the diaspora would mean the United States of America. And so, these things which are happening today are things which have been prophesied before. We've had people who prophesied that we would be having segregation reinstated. And also, even before Jim Crow, we had people who said Jim Crow would be bringing back his policies, or rather will be bringing his policies of segregation, because the segregation we had first in the USA was that of Jim Crow, which were made as a constitutional law, right? So Jim Crow's policy were not just affecting black people. Jim Crow's laws were cruel to humanity, because you can never segregate humanity. You can try it with animals, and sometimes you may never achieve it with animals. You understand? And so with humans, how much worse do you think it would become? Right? Now here again we have Donald Trump. He has reinstated the law of segregation. It's like apartheid again being presented to the USA. But these people are forgetting this is a new country This is a new generation. These are new people. These are not those people who are being punished, people taken from Africa when they knew nothing about the USA and their civil rights. This is an entire new generation, and it might not work like it did for Jim Crow. And so Trump better be careful, you know. And now we have black people, white people who've come together, and now they're speaking against this segregation. And I believe that we have to listen to them, get to understand how it is affecting them or how it is going to affect them. I shall get back.
Joelle, Nicole Johnson, she made a really good point. She said, bring back segregation, let's do it. We're gonna have black-only restaurants, black-only shops, black-only theme parks, black-only everything, right? Those will be the only good places to go. With all the good food, the good music. It would bring me so much joy to see that. And they're not saying like, hey, you know, it's really truly blacks only. They would allow the approved whiteys like myself to come and think about it. That would kill all the racists that not only black people are spending their hard-earned dollars on only black businesses, but white people are too.
You can't continue to let this go on. I can't continue to let this go on. We can't continue to let this go on. We cannot continue to walk around with our eyes shut and our ears closed. Okay? What is it going to take? We have come way too far to have society be set back 75 years. 75 years. What are we doing with these these executional or these executive orders removing policies that allow for segregation? What are we doing? Oh, yes, it's government contractors. You know who those government contractors are? SpaceX, Tesla, Amazon probably. It's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors and all these MAGA folks falling for the okie doke. It has to stop. And in the latest news, guess who's overseeing the housing board? Oh yeah, Musk. Musk, along with his buddies, I think it's Plute, the head of Plute Homes. And now they're all buying up a bunch of stock because it's like $6 a pop. They're taking everything. They're taking everything. When in history have we had a president incite this amount of fear among so much of the country? I can't recall it in my lifetime. Yet Dems and Republicans have never really gotten along. Obviously, they're on different sides of the aisle. But society's divided. And for the people that continue to say it's just the Democrats who hate the Republicans and they don't want to see it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of brainwashed bullshit. And it's going to take some serious shit to go down for them to open their eyes. The thing I love about this TikTok platform is that we can continue to share and talk and communicate with each other on the things that are going on so that we can continue to create awareness. You may not want to hear it. I get it. But you need to be aware. Because I can tell you right now, if you search Republicans that regret their vote, you're going to see hundreds of thousands of videos. Check it out.
Well, it's official. Segregation is now back on the table for the American government, and we have Donald Trump to thank for it. You heard me right. thanks to Donald Trump, segregation is now no longer banned in the federal government. More specifically, government contractors are no longer banned from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. Yeah, thanks to Donald Trump, now government contractors can have shit like this again. And what was Donald Trump's logic behind this asinine decision? Well, he's tackling DEI, of course. Donald Trump is bringing back segregation in order to supposedly combat DEI. I wish I was making this shit up. I wish I was making up all of the insane shit that Donald Trump says and does. But unfortunately, this is just our fucked up reality now, and until somebody does something about Donald Trump, I'm afraid there won't be an end to the madness anytime soon. And if you haven't already, give me a follow here just in case something happens to my main account.
It's time to speak up. They're rolling back segregation. They are rolling back segregation. It is now no longer illegal to require separate facilities for people of different races. It is no longer illegal to say, here's the white water fountain and here's the colored water fountain. To be clear, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is still in place and has not been disbanded. But we know what their goal is. There is always step one in a process, and we absolutely know what their goal is. They are rolling back segregation. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Because this time, white people, we are the ones that are going to be on the front crossing that bridge. Do you hear me? We are the ones that are going to stand in the streets. Our black countrymen have done their time at the front of the lines, and it is our turn. It is our turn to face the water hoses and to face the dogs and to face the tear gas, because we have let this happen. Not on my watch. Not while there is breath in me will we go back. Is anybody out there with me? Go love your neighbor.
The Trump administration has just removed a federal ban on contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. This is a result of Trump's executive order to combat DEI. You're probably DEI too. Trump, we know what you're trying to do. We appreciate the segregation. We're fine with it. But we know what you're trying to do. All you're trying to do is get black people upset. You're trying to get us to get out here in these streets and act a fool. Well, guess what, Trumpster? Guess what, orange man? You orange menace, you. We're not going to fall for it. We're standing 10 toes down on keeping our black asses in this goddamn house and minding our black ass business. So keep on coming with the fuckery. You're not going to get us, okay? We know your games, orangey, okay? But thank you for the segregation. We appreciate it. We want to know who fuck with us and who don't. We don't want to be in spaces that we not welcome. So please put the signs up. White only. Put them up. Put them up.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Donald Trump has just removed a federal ban on contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. Ladies and gentlemen, he's literally bringing segregation back. Where are all of these people in Washington, D.C., these Republicans? Where are they at? Where are you at, Richard Hudson? You've got people of color in your district. I think you need to answer for what we're seeing right now. This is unacceptable. Donald Trump is a racist, and anybody who stands by him and allows him to continue doing what he's doing is just as racist. This is unacceptable. We deserve so much better. Folks, let me tell you something. Vote.
In the news today, Donald Trump has cut the federal funding clause which prohibits segregated bathrooms. Now, companies do not have to abide by the segregation laws. They can have a bathroom that says whites only and coloreds only. This is 2025. Is this what you all voted for? Because I didn't. God bless America.
We have some big news right now. Segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts, according to latest NPR reporting.
So when people ask me, is it really that big of a deal? Abso-fucking-lutely. If you voted for him, you voted for this. This affects my family, so yes, it's personal. Hi, I need to know what bathroom I'm supposed to use during segregation. It's come to my attention that Trump has rolled back segregation. You're allowed to segregate bathrooms, restaurants, whatever you want now. So, there are a lot more biracial beauties now, and people like me pass for Italian, Greek, Latina, all the things. So are we gonna have bathrooms by different ethnicities? It seems like you really only have an affinity for black people. So is it gonna be colored and then everybody else gets to use the same nice, pristine bathrooms? Or how is it gonna work? It doesn't fucking matter, Trump. Whatever you do, roll it all back. Black Americans will not be protesting. Nope, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. You want us on the front line of the protest like it was for BLM. You expected to be able to shoot us dead in the street. Call martial law, and it's not gonna happen. Roll it back. I need to know what bathroom you expect me to pee in.
Segregation is no longer illegal. Dude, when are people going to realize his idea of making America great again is de-evolving us? Like literally. He wants more manufacturing. That was the industrial age. We are in the technological age now. We've moved on. He wants to go back, and that's very clearly visible as Trump made segregation not illegal in federal contracts and is blaming it on DEI. Dude, that's just straight up racism. And before MAGA says it's not, segregation is racist. It's racist.
Well, it's official. Segregation is now back on the table for the American government, and we have Donald Trump to thank for it. You heard me right. Thanks to Donald Trump, segregation is now no longer banned in the federal government. More specifically, government contractors are no longer banned from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. Yeah, thanks to Donald Trump, now government contractors can have shit like this again. And what was Donald Trump's logic behind this asinine decision? Well, he's tackling DEI, of course. Donald Trump is bringing back segregation in order to supposedly combat DEI. I wish I was making this shit up. I wish I was making up all of the insane shit that Donald Trump says and does. But unfortunately, this is just our fucked up reality now, and until somebody does something about Donald Trump, I'm afraid there won't be an end to the madness anytime soon.
Did you know Trump just legalized segregation again? Let me repeat that. Federal contractors can now ban black folks from bathrooms, restaurants, and jobs using your tax dollars. This isn't a history reboot. It's Project 2025's MAGA playbook deleting civil rights. But here's their fatal flaw. Black America controls $1.6 trillion in spending power. We buy Jordans, iPhones, SUVs, yet fund businesses cozy with this Jim Crow 2.0. Target lost $15 billion fighting LGBTQ plus hate. Imagine draining every dime from these segregation enablers. Document every white's preferred job post, every racist policy, and flood TikTok with geotags and CEO at handles. White allies, this isn't our fight alone. Your schools, hospitals, and voting booths are next. Corporate America wants segregation. Let's help them starve. They think it's 1955, but we've got screens, boycotts, and receipts. The question isn't if they'll backtrack, but how loud we'll be laughing when they beg for our cash.
You see what's happening? America has fallen. And it has fallen with a very big thud. You know? These countries, USA, we have Canada, we have these white countries with high white population. They never regard black people as equals, you know? They never take us as equals. And black people are very vital where they exist. Black people are very vital where they thrive, you know? First of all, it is the black people who built USA, you know? USA was built on the back of those slaves. I believe you've heard of someone called Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass is a perfect example of a black American who was born into slavery and really helped build the Constitution. He helped elevate and support black people. And also, he escaped from the very slavery that was haunting him almost the entire of his almost his entire life, you know. And now I'm looking back and I'm saying that even if this law is to be passed, because it's already passed, it's been signed by the president, it's not going to be easy. It's never ever going to be easy. These are not the people who were being enslaved back then. These are new generation, understand? And also the world is going to watch. America is not in good terms with so many countries. And that position it used to hold back then, it's losing its significance day by day, you know? And so I'm back here. I'm listening to how Jim Crow has risen from the dead. He is back here to try and affect to try and bring back the oppression he used to make on our fellow black people. But I'm giving a message to the blacks. You people, you are the ones who've built USA. You have a very high purchasing power, you know? You people have invented a lot of things for the US people. You know, a lot of things were made by black people that we use today. The GPS that is my phone is using right now was made by a black person, you know. Many things have been made by the black people. And so if segregation wants to be brought again, I believe African Americans should now think of moving back to Africa. Yep, let's think of moving back to Africa, the motherland. It's better to work hard for a country that acknowledges your hard work. In Africa, we will acknowledge your hard work. We will acknowledge what you've done. The United States of America is falling. And I did a video about this, you know. When a country is falling, these are some of the stages, you know. It's high time black people realize you are the chosen one. And being made the chosen one is not an easy task. I hope everything goes well with the blacks, and I hope that black find peace in wherever and everything they do in the US. Let's continue this discussion in the comment section. I'm glad to hear from you. See you in the next one.